Unit 2, Day 3 notes. Deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning. The process of reasoning logically and drawing a conclusion from given facts and statements. Law of detachment. What is the law of detachment? When you are given a conditional statement, if the hypothesis is true, then the conclusion is true. So our symbolic notation is going to be P, arrow Q, which is conditional, and then P, therefore Q. Let's see if we can follow the law of detachment. First, we're going to write it off to the side. We're looking for P, arrow Q, and then we need a P. So basically, if you have a highlighter, you want a P first in your first statement, and you want a P in your second statement. If you get that, then your conclusion will be Q. Let's check it out and see what we have. If Mark saves $30, he can buy a new video game. Let's go ahead and mark P for Mark saves $30, and Q, which is the conclusion, he can buy a new video game. Well, if that's the case, what does our last statement say? Oh, Mark saves. So we give that another P. The question is, do we have Mark saves at first? So do we start with the P as in our statement here? Yes. Is our second statement a P? Yes. Do they say the same thing? Yes. So then what is the conclusion? You got it. So the conclusion is Mark can buy a new video game. Number 2. First, we're going to write the law of detachment. The law of detachment, P, arrow Q. So that's the if-then statement. And then we need a P. What exactly are we looking for? Well, we need our first statement, which is the hypothesis, to say the same thing as the first thing in the second statement. So here we go. If a quadrilateral is a rhombus, so this right here is my P, because I have an if. Then it is a parallelogram. I have a Q. Quadrilateral ABC is a rhombus. Okay, so this is quadrilateral, this is quadrilateral, this is rhombus, so this again is P. The question I have for you is, do I have the same thing here and here? Do they say the same thing? Yes, they do. So here's my conclusion. My conclusion is quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Quick review. What are we looking for? P, arrow Q, which is an if-then statement. And we need another P. So we want these two to be the same. And so if we can get and see that those two are the same, then our conclusion will be the Q. Let's see if this statement follows the law of detachment. The first thing I want to do is I want to write down what the law of detachment is. I keep writing it. P, arrow Q. The next statement says P. And so therefore my conclusion should be Q. So what I want these two P's to say the same thing. And if they do, I have a valid conclusion, which is Q. So let's mark it up. You are 18 years old. That's a P. You can register to vote. That's a Q. Olivia is not 18 years old. Well, wait a minute. The first statement said you are 18. Now it's saying she's not. So this isn't P. It's actually negating P. So is that the same thing? No, it's not. And when the P's don't match, we have to say no valid conclusion. All right, so our next law is the law of syllogism. Okay, So with this particular law, it allows you to draw a conclusion from two conditional statements, in which the conclusion of the first statement is the hypothesis of the second statement. So I'm going to write it out. It's in your notes. It's just always helpful to write it out. So I have a P arrow Q. That's one conditional statement. My next conditional statement is Q arrow R. So it says I need two conditional statements. I got it. And now it says that the conclusion of the first one, which is Q, the conclusion of the first one should match the hypothesis of the second. So do those two say the same thing? Yes. So then my conclusion is P to R. Well, we just got to get in here and practice. So the first thing I want to do is I want to read my statement and mark it up. If it is Saturday, P. Jake has a baseball tournament, Q. Next statement. Jake has a baseball tournament. Does that match something else? Yes. So if it already matches another statement, which it does, I'll highlight this in green and this in green because they say the same thing. And I'm going to give this a Q. Take it back and get, here we are, a Q. And then here it says he will need to pack his lunch. I don't see anything that talks about lunch, so I can't call it P. I can't call it Q. I'm going to call it R. Let me write out what I have. I have an if then, so P goes to Q. And Q goes to R. The question you ask yourself, do we have the same thing in the middle? Do the Q's match up? Yes, they do, because take a look here. Jake has a baseball tournament, and Jake has a baseball tournament. Therefore, check out the beautiful highlighting. If it is Saturday, he will need to pack his lunch. Take a look. All right, so here's my next statement. What I want to do is just want to go through and mark it up. If a number is divisible by 12, I'll give that a P. It is divisible by 6, I give it a Q. A number is divisible by 6, oh, that says the same thing. Then it is divisible by 3. Haven't seen that statement, so I'm going to give it an R. So this is P goes to Q, and Q goes to R. Do we have the same thing in the middle? Of course we do. So what is my conclusion? It's that P goes to R. So basically when I read my conclusion, all I want to do is read the P and the R. So take a look. If a number is divisible by 12, drop it, drop it, drop it, then it is divisible by 3. Law of syllogism. There you have it. All right, let's go through this together. Get the pen ready. If it is sunny this weekend, P, you will go boating, Q. If it is sunny this weekend, P, then you will wear shorts, R. So let's write down what we know about the law of syllogism. The law of syllogism is P to Q and Q to R. What are we looking at that we need to be the same? We need the conclusion of our first statement to match the hypothesis of my second. So basically, I need these two to say the same thing. Well, the second thing here is Q. And this is P. It does not match. So we would have to say that this has no valid conclusion. Hopefully this is helping. You try this one. See if there's a conclusion and write it. If you don't think there's a valid conclusion, write no valid conclusion. Hit pause and work on this one, and I will reveal the answer. No valid conclusion. Okay, so we learned two laws, law of syllogism and law of detachment. So what we're going to do is we're going to call law of detachment over here, LOD, and law of syllogism. So over here we need a P and a Q, and then we just need a P. Over here we need P and Q, Q and R, and then our conclusion is going to be P to R. So let's take a look at each statement. Determine whether the conclusion follows from the given statements by the law of detachment or the law of syllogism. If it does, state which law was used or write not valid. We have to mark up these statements. So here we have I drive over the speed limit, P. I will get a ticket, Q. Drove over the speed limit, P. So what does it look like we have between the law of detachment and the law of syllogism? We're leaning over here. Okay, so if the two P's say the same thing, then our conclusion is going to be therefore. Our conclusion is going to be Q. Over here, if we use the law of syllogism, our conclusion is going to be P arrow to R. So the conclusion that they're telling us is that I got a ticket. So here it says if I have P and Q, and then the P repeats, then the conclusion is Q. What's the conclusion here? I got a ticket. Here it is. I'll get a ticket. I got a ticket. So is this a valid conclusion? Yes. Which law was used? Law of detachment. Let's write down our laws at the top. We're going to do law of detachment, and the other one will be law of syllogism. So law of detachment, we need P arrow Q, and then we need a P, and our final answer in green is going to be Q. If it works, the final answer is going to be Q. Law of detachment, we need P arrow Q and Q arrow R, and if it's going to work, therefore, the conclusion is going to be P arrow R. What are we looking for? Again, here we need these two to be the same. And over here, we need these two to be the same. So let's check out our first example. If Amanda goes to the restaurant, she will order a hamburger. So here I have Amanda goes to the restaurant, P. She will order a hamburger, Q. She orders a hamburger, another Q. Then she will get fries, R. Here is the conclusion. Amanda goes to the restaurant, that's P. She will get fries, that's R. What we want to do is look at our statement, P to Q, Q to R, therefore P to R. Here I have a P, Q, Q, R, P to R. So this follows the law of syllogism. So for the last one, I'd like for you to try it on your own. Problem number 3, show it to the teacher, and then you can proceed to the classwork. Thank you.